Hi, this is Miss Bagley again. Now we worked earlier on adding fractions with like denominators, and this was our earlier problem. What is 2/5 plus 2/5? And we found by doing our work the answer is 4/5. Well, now let's see what happens when we're adding fractions with like denominators, but we're going to end up with what we call a mixed number. Now remember, a mixed number is going to have a whole number and a fraction. So let's look at the question. What is 3/5 plus 2/5? Again, we're going to start off with our whole, identifying our whole. So we write this is one whole. Now in this case, our denominator is 4, so we're going to have our fraction broken into 4 equivalent pieces. We have 1, 2, 3, 4, and let's shade this in. And we know our denominator is going to be 4, and our numerator will also be 4. So we have 4/4, which is equivalent to one whole. So we're now adding the fraction 3/4 plus 2/4. So let's start off by making a model of 3/4, and I'm going to have my model drawn and have 4 equivalent pieces, and I'm going to color in 3. It's 1/4, there's 2/4, which also is 1/2, and 3/4. So I have 3/4 colored in, and I'm going to write 3/4. Let me move this up so you can see it, and I write the 3 a little darker. There we go. So now we have 3/4. Now using my other color, I'm adding 2/4. So I'm going to make my model broken into 4 equivalent pieces, and I'm going to color in 1/4, 2/4, and I have 2/4 colored in, which also is known as 1/2, but we're going to call this 2/4 just for right now. For the sake of this problem, we're going to call this 2/4. So now we have 3/4 plus 2/4. Create my equal sign so I can balance my equation. And again, I'm going to make my fraction model into 4 equivalent pieces, and I'm going to color in 3/4 from my first fraction. So here is 1/4, 2/4, and 3/4. So here's my 3/4 shown here. Now I want to color in 2/4. So I start 1/4, but I'm noticing I'm running into a situation. I don't have enough fourths here. I know I need 2/4, but I only have 1/4. Picture if you were buying a pizza and it was divided into 4 equivalent pieces, and you had one for each of your 4 people. But you had another person come by, so they also want a slice of pizza. In order for them to have a fair slice of pizza, we have to get an additional pizza. So we're going to make another fraction, and so that everything is fair, we're going to make sure this is divided into 4 equivalent pieces. So I have one of my 2/4 represented here, but I have to do another 4. So now I have my 2/4, they're just broken into 2 separate fractions. Now let's look at this. We see I have an entire fraction piece colored in 4/4, which I have up in my example, 4/4. And I know that 4/4 is the same as one whole. So when I look at this piece here, I know that it's going to be 1 whole. Now notice I made this one kind of big because we know it's 1 whole. When I look at this piece here, it's not a whole. It's actually a fraction. I have 1 out of my 4 pieces. So my denominator will stay 4. And my numerator is going to be 1. So my answer for my entire problem is now going to be, I have 1 whole and 1/4, and I read this as 1 and 1/4. So for my question, what is 3/4 plus 2/4? My answer is 1 and 1/4.